We had an awful video shown to us today in one of the schools that we were at, and I just think it's worthwhile commenting. The fact that it's gone viral as well is important to reflect on it. I mean, I'm not surprised that people are surprised, and why this has become news. It's I think it's more present than we'd like to think. It was a fifth year lad who showed it to us, and it was in Sydney, Australia. It was like a sleepover party that these high school girls had organized, and according to the news agency, they lured a girl into the sleepover party. I don't know, like, to what extent she was aware of what was going on, but the video is just her kind of in a corner. She's heavy set, and she's not wearing much either. And the girl that's filming, it tells one of the other girls that she's filming to go ahead and hit the girl. So there's just a video of this girl getting beaten up. She gets hit in the face by one of the girls, and then they're like pulling her hair. She tries to like leave the room as well, and they pull her back into the room by her hair, and they kind of have her in the corner, and the whole time she's just standing there. She's not even moving, and they're telling her to lift up her arms, and then they punch her under the arm. And at one point, another girl comes into the room with a kitchen knife, and the whole thing is just like, it's so sickening. She starts kind of like poking her with the knife in the arm, and the whole time the other girl that's filming is encouraging it. It's I was watching it, and I said it to the boys that were there, and the teacher as well. I think they all agreed. I just said, this is diabolic. I mean, Father Kentenich said that when you kind of, before something that's so evil, that would kind of surpass man's in capacity or his kind of imagination, just know that you're in the presence of the diabolic. And I felt like that. We're in the presence. This is diabolical. It's just sickening. It made me sick. But like I said, I don't think this is like an isolated case, and it's news, which is good that it's getting exposed. But I think it's the tip of the iceberg. And the Kyrie of ours said that. He says, you pull a priest out of a town, you can apply it to society, and then you can apply it to a country. If you pull a priest out of a town, and he said it will not be long before the people are groaning and whining under the hoofs of Satan. So he's basically just saying that people aren't going to stand a chance, and they're going to be groaning and whining and crying under his hoofs. These girls were under the influence of Satan, and they were definitely influenced. We had a lad in one of our summer camps that was locked in the bathroom, and we experienced that he had also, like, other boys that were outside yelling at things to him, and all of a sudden, like, a knife was passed under the door. They told him to, like, just end his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kind of things, there was all joking and like laughing around, whatever, but at the end of the day, like he is influential, the diabolic and Satan. We had today's reading, the people were also prostrate before a golden calf, which they wanted to see God. Like, they recognized that, like, this God that just pulled us out of Egypt under these mighty deeds, and he parted the Red Sea. He's a mighty God, but we can't see him, and we'd love to see him, and we'd love to have contact with him and be able to kind of like have him. And that's at the end of the day, I mean, idolatry is making an image of God and then bowing down to it. But God doesn't want us to form images of him. He's spirit, and he's the one who's dictating. He's the one who runs the show. He's God, and it's dangerous. And they're prostrate before an image of a calf, a golden calf, and they're adoring the calf, and God becomes so indignant with it that he just says he's going to wipe the whole people out. And Moses intercedes. Moses intercedes them as a priest, a priestly figure, as an intercession. It's like a bridge between the people and God, and he's there to distribute mercy. Thanks be to God. He could have agreed with them and said, you're right. He's also been hearing their complaints. It's a very stiff-necked people. In the office, we read today yesterday that they're just whining and crying for meat. They want to eat meat, And why can't they have meat? And why can't they, they wish they had the melons and the onions and the garlic that they had in Egypt. It's just a very hard, stiff-necked people, and God has mercy on them. And that's where we come in as well. So if the priest, when he's pulled out, the people they're groaning under the hoofs of Satan. Well, what happens when the priest is there? Well, we break light into dark situations, and we have to be constantly aware that evil doesn't want Christ to be brought into these situations. Evil wants, obviously, Christ to be banished at all costs, and we are priests, and we are interceding for the people in our our particular context. This is the young people, and we're bringing Christ first and foremost in the person that we are. I'm convinced in many of the places where we go and where we are, they wouldn't have an image of Christ if it weren't for our presence. So there's a huge apostolate happening on the ground level in these places where they wouldn't have a contact. So in that sense, it is a materialization of the presence of God for these people, which obviously God he's not put into images, but in a way we are the person of God for these people in their lives, and it's so badly needed. So we're going to ask our Blessed Mother for her protection, and we're going to also ask really anybody who listens to these just to have the prayer of intercession for these youth. To what extent they can be led under his inspiration is shocking and is terrifying. I mean, to what you do, to a girl like that, it's just, it needs to wake us up and double our efforts for prayer before the Father, interceding for these young people, and also prayer for priests so that there can be more priests in these situations. Amen.